Welcome back to Shum's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over how to get rich in each personal year. So the personal year ideology is definitely agreed upon on both sides of numerology when it comes to like you add up your birthday with the current year that you're in. And then the life path of that, meaning the equation of it, is what's called your personal year. Your first personal year is, of course, your life path number when you're first born. And then after that point, you go through the cycle from there. So the first thing that you have to understand with personal years is you have to understand what each number represents, 1 through 9, and then the master numbers as well. If you happen to get a master number personal year, that's very much possible. In the original Pythagorean context, I guess they would say that the personal year can't be a master number because master numbers were designated specifically for core chart, which means life path, expression, birth number, solar personality number. But upon looking, I think you can definitely still have a personal year that's like an 11, 22, or 33. And it's like you'll feel those effects as well, like you're in that sort of energy. And I'm going to go over why in a moment. So to start off, we have to understand the foundation of each number. The number 1 is all about new beginnings. The number 2 is about cooperation. The number 3 is about social ability. Number 4 is about law and order and resource. The number 5 is about freedom, travel, and entertainment. The 6 is about health implications and then also about family life. The 7 is about introspection and being by oneself. The 8 is about money, abundance, and status, and then karma. And then the 9 is about finality, death, transformation, and renewal. So when we look at this, we then understand that, okay, how do I use this said energy to then get rich? How do you pivot it? The pivot is within the knowledge that you know about it. You know each number has an archetype, a certain set of distinct traits that differentiates it from the other numbers. So when we look at, for instance, the number 1, the number 1 is ideally the pioneering energy. It's the new beginning. It's the new light. It's the idea of something new coming about, right? So when we look at the number 1, you have to understand that I don't care if the number 1 adds to 10, 19, 28, whatever. Like, some people are going to go far. I already know I'm going to get these questions in the comments like, oh, what if I'm in a 28 personal year? Then what? Like, stop. Like, it's just literally master numbers are single digit. I'm not going to go into different compounds as well because that's not realistic. The number 1, though, is all about new beginnings. So what you want to do in a number 1 year is really get your startups going when it comes to business. You want to make sure that you're doing things that are going to be, that you plan on doing for the next 8 to 9 years. The number 1 year is actually extremely important for you karmically. So you start off your 9-year cycle in a very, I'd say, foundational way that's going to pave the way for you. So it's actually very important in a 1 year that you do things that are going to actually benefit you in the future. So in the 1 year is a time to invest, meaning like stocks, crypto, real estate, what have you, your own business, marketing. All those things are very, very important in a 1 year. Getting a new job, signing up for school, starting new relationships with people is interesting, but the relationship part of it is like whatever. I'd say more so things that actually benefit you specifically. The number 2 and 11 year is going to be where said relationships come more into effect, which I'm about to get into in literally 2 minutes. But with the number 1 specifically, I'd say it's really a time of self-fulfillment, self-sufficiency, and then self-actualization. And if you're able to do that in the proper sequence, you're going to get quite wealthy in that year, because the main thing is you do not want to rely on other people in a 1 year. You should be doing everything for yourself. You might find that you actually have more responsibilities brought upon you in your personal 1 year. I know I have, and the ones that I've been through so far. So what I would say is that you definitely want to take advantage of that, simply just by really being self-accountable, and then self-accountability leads to competence, which then will lead to self-sufficiency. And through that, you'll attract the right situations and people that will assist you on your path to getting rich. The number 2 personal years are interesting in the sense of it's a good year for forging business partnerships, I'd say. It's also a good year to set up good intimate relationships with other people, meaning like you should definitely go in the dating pool if you're single in a 2 year. If you're in a significant like long-term relationship or like a marriage situation, common law, be very careful of separation in a 2 year, because there could be a lot of misinterpretations just when it comes to what you say. It's a very highly emotionally volatile year. When it comes to people around you, you might find that they're very much susceptible to everything that you say. Like, it's a lot more emotional emphasis on it. As a salesperson, if you're working in that sort of position, that you can use that sort of to your advantage, because you know that your words have extra polarity in this year. But aside from that, it can usually be quite negative. So what I'd say is, like, unless you're doing something like sales or seduction, which is arguably the same thing, you're not going to have an easy time with a lot of communication in 2 years, a lot of misunderstandings that come about. The best thing you can do in a 2 year is be more action than talking. And then you also want to be somebody who, I don't want to say be aggressive, but you don't want to be overly passive either. You want to make sure you seize opportunities, but you have a lot of patience to see things through. The main thing in 2 years is, like I said, working with other people, whereas with the 1 year is about just being with yourself and then attracting those things to you. In the 2 year, if you did the 1 year correctly, the right people should be around you. You should have the good business partners already if you don't already. And then you should also be looking to attract a significant other if that's like what's in your mental realm at the time. If it's an 11 year, it's a very fast manifestation year. I can speak to that because I just been through an 11 year recently. And you manifest things a lot faster when it comes to materialism, like money, cars, a new home, all those things. I know I did for all three of what I just listed. So you can use the 11 energy to sort of propel you to the top quite quickly, just by actually just putting your emotional energy into what you care about the most. The more you can lock in emotionally into something in an 11 year, it's like you're looking at the clock of an 11-11 all year round. I mean, yeah, all year round, literally. And you just have that sort of I wish, I desire energy to then transmute it to reality very, very quickly, if that makes sense. So if you're in an 11 year, what you want to do is say, I'm looking at 11-11 all year. So my thoughts and emotions get intertwined and connect to a very specific vision. And if you're able to do that, you'll find that you attain wealth quite easily. Next one's number 3, personal year. Number 3 is all about socialism. Just integrating yourself within different social circles, getting with people, understanding them. This is what I'm in right now, so this has been quite fun. You definitely have a good voice in the 3 year. You get along with more people. There's no real misunderstandings. Unless you're a life path 6. If you're a 6, comment and I'll directly deal with you on your numbers and tell you why. But yeah, specifically if you're in a personal 3 year, it should arguably be your luckiest year unless you're a life path 6. You should definitely be in a situation where you find things are a lot easier when it comes to making money. They always say the old adage of like your network is your net worth. You'll find that you meet a lot of good money makers or people that are going to be fundamental to your vision in a 3 year. So a lot of new people that you meet, you should take very seriously in a 3 year, because these are the people that can essentially help you get to the top, whether you're in the social media world, the business world, whatever. You actually want to take advantage of the people that you meet in this year to really see your vision through, for lack of a better word. The only thing in 3 years that can sort of hinder you, why a lot of people don't actually make a lot of money in their 3 years, it's a lot of fun. You're going to get invited to a lot of things, especially if you're already naturally social. So what you want to do in a 3 years, make sure that you're using your good luck for extra resilience, meaning like, yeah, it might be easier than your 2 or 11 year or even that 1 year, but you want to make sure that even though you have a lot of social opportunities, you still can try to forego them. Only go to things that are going to be pragmatic and that make sense to you in cohesion with your vision. Next one is the number 4. The number 4 and the 22 are going to be interesting, because the 4, they always say in this urban form of numerology, which I'm going to be doing a video on very soon, the misconceptions of it. They say it's like law and order. I think it's more about structure. Law and order is definitely there because law and order defines the structure of society that we live in. So it's definitely relevant. But the number 4, moreover, is just about if you're able to follow systems and processes, you'll do very well. In a 4 year, meaning my next year, like I'll just get up at a specific time every day, systemize my life, have a to-do list, and just go to bed. Like I'm going to live the most boring, mundane life in my 4 year as possible, because that's essentially what the 4 wants. What you have to look at this as, guys, is like these numbers are like demigods. And if you can look at it in that sense, is like you're giving a form of sacrifice to each personal year to get what you want. It's ritualistic. In a 3 year, you want to socialize and network to get people around you that are correct. In the 2 year, focus on one-on-one relationships more. In the 1 year, focus only on yourself. You're actually appeasing these demigods when you do that. You're working within their algorithm, and then they give you good luck as a result. So in the 3 year, you want to be very social. In the 4 year, you want to be more so pragmatically social, or working within a certain social construct, whether it is like you hang out with people at the office, You hang with people maybe that you go to the gym with. Like, everybody should be very much like proactive, involved within your purpose, meaning like they have an essential role within it, why you socialize with them. And the more you can structure your life in that sort of way, especially in a personal 4-year, is the better luck you're gonna have, is if you systemize everything. Get up at a specific time, have water a specific time, shower a specific time, get to work 50 minutes early, stay extra late, work as hard as can, take every overtime shift available, sacrifice holidays, don't care about like your birthday, things like that. Like, really just skip out on everything and just go hard. If you can do that in a 4-year, work extra hard and then be almost antisocial, you'll be very, very good when it comes to just attaining extra wealth. Like, the 4 will very much bless you and you'll get a lot of immediate karmic returns. It's even more enhanced if you're in that 22 year. The 22 year is going to give you a very big building platform where it's like the 11 on steroids. Like, everything you focus on that you're working hard on, you're going to see like it's like a water breaking through a dam, money just pouring at you. So if you're even in a regular corporate job, you think it's not going anywhere. Let's say you're working at, I'm not even dissing anybody, like McDonald's, for instance. We all did it, right? You're working at McDonald's, you want to be the person to say, yeah, in my personal 22 year, I should be the manager of McDonald's, or I should be doing more hours than everybody else, or I should be employee of the month every month. I know it sounds stupid or mundane, or like, who cares, I'm just working at McDonald's for this amount of time. But whatever it is that you're doing is going to affect everything else that you're doing. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you can work at McDonald's and go hard, then you go to the gym and go hard, then you're at home and making sure everything's in order and in context, you're going to live this structured, systematic life that then leads to a lot of wealth and appreciation, not just from the universe, but from the physical people around you, noticing the competence in the way in which you're living and what you're doing. So it's going to be a lot different. Going over, we have the number 5 year. The number 5 years is arguably one of the best luck years, just like the number 3 year. I'd arguably say the 5 is more lucky than the number 3 because the 5 has no enemies whatsoever. Some people will debate me and say the number 2 is the 5's enemy, or the 8, because the 8's like all about restriction, whereas the 5 is about freedom. I don't think so. The 5 is definitely like a glitch to the 8. It actually gives people good luck that have life path 8 when they have a name number 5. And then with the number 2, that's more so an astrology thing where they say the moon and Mercury are enemies. I'm not sure how true that really is. In respects to the number 5 though, the number 5 is all about freedom, excitement, entertainment. If you're a social media person like me, like you're on YouTube, this is the year to go hardest in social media, because you're most likely to get famous in a 5 year more than any other year, or recognized, let's say if you're just on the job. Recognition will come from the hard work you did in the 4 year, in the 5 year. It'll flood at you, right? So if you're in your 5 year and you're starting off on your conquest now, great. You'll find that you get faster results than any other year in a 5 year. It works almost similar to like a master number, the number 8 energy, which we're going to go over soon. But the 5 year is very much about very peculiar results, because Mercury moves at 51 times around the sun, whereas the Earth does once. So it's going that much faster. Things are happening that much quicker. You should focus more so on like efficiency in a 5 year, meaning like instead of working hard and not thinking like in the 4 year, you want to focus on efficiency in the 5 year. Like, okay, if I have a to-do list of like working out, and maybe I trade crypto and stuff like that, so I'm going to say trade crypto, maybe set up some sport bets, whatever. I'm going to, in a 5 year, I'm going to be like, I want to have everything that I need to do that's important done before 12 p.m. or even 11 a.m. And I have the rest of the day to plan for my next day, right? Like, I want to make sure that like it's very, very fast paced in a 5 year, where I'm socializing with the right people, I'm doing things as efficiently as possible, and I'm moving very, very fast. From my walking to my speaking, because I'm appeasing Mercury. That's the demigod that I'm dealing with in that personal year. So I want to make sure that all my movements are very quick and very efficient at that time, if that makes sense, guys. Number 6 and 33 is very interesting as well. The 6 year, a lot of people actually end up getting a lot of health implications. They don't realize that Venus and the number 6 actually govern health. So you want to be very careful in 6 years when it comes to your immune system, and then sexual diseases as well, because the number 6 deals with family, so of course you might have you might be more intimate in a 6 year for YouTube policy, I have to put it like that. And then also you might be somebody who is gonna get some sort of sickness if you're a little bit too free with it. The number 6 is all about family creation, so if you're just doing recreational activities like that when it comes to family creation, if you get the gist, you want to more so do that in the 5 year, have fun with that. But the 6 year, you want to more so be in more so committed situations and take things very, very serious. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in a lot of problems. So in that 6 year, you want to make sure that you're just focusing on family, intimate relations, and having trust and integrity. When it comes to your health, you should be on top of it, going to the gym, Your nutrition should be of utmost importance. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself in a 6 year from a health standpoint, making sure that you keep your family on a good note. If you have a bad family that's toxic, stay away from in a 6 year because they're just going to attack you. That's the sort of sector where you can get attacked in a personal 6 year. So stay away from them. And if you do that, you'll achieve success. If you're able to include your family in your business in a 6 year, you might also find that you appease Venus more and attract more wealth to yourself. So if you're looking about like starting a family-owned business, like a convenience store, things like that, 6 years is the perfect year to start that off. Anything to do with like helping family members, like let's say you're opening like a family law firm, 6 years perfect to start that as well. Let's say you're looking to get a new piece of real estate, 6 years perfect. Let's say you're looking to get a family car, 6 years perfect. If you want to invest in stocks or sort of commodities, you should look at things that are going to actually help out families in a 6 personal year. As much as you're thinking like, okay, well, it's not a 6 universal year, it will still benefit you, meaning that investment might still benefit you within that year, depending on your knowledge on the markets and etc. So what you want to do is more so focus on things that surround the 6 in that year, and you'll find that you can actually attract more wealth to yourself as well. If you're in the 33, you might want to actually look at for different mentors in a 33 year, or look to be a teacher or be recognized as a teacher, whatever you have an expertise in. So what I mean by that is like, let's say if I use trading a lot because that's what I personally do outside of this. Like if you were looking to trade and so forth, like day trade or just learn how to invest or learn more about your financial literacy, you should be finding a mentor in a 33 year because that mentor can actually propel you to great levels of success. Or you could be somebody who's saying, hey, I'm an expert in this set of knowledge. Let me go online and teach it. And in a 33 year, you can manifest things very quickly. So you can monetize what you have in your head very fast in a 33 year. Moving on to a 7 personal year. This is one of the harder years. They always say the 7 upside down's an L. So like it's pure L's in the 7 year and people don't really earn money like that. Not true. If you actually focus on detaching yourself from money and you're more so focused on just being a sponge when it comes to knowledge, you'll actually end up making money through implementation of some of the knowledge that you learn. Meaning the more you can research things that actually have to do with like your career, you don't have to be on a spiritual conquest in a 7 year. They'll recommend it, but you can actually just focus on things that are pertaining to your career. Let's say if you're into like you want to be a chiropractor, you're focused on maybe kinesiology, things like that. The more you study into your craft is the more beneficial and the more money you can make, especially going into the 8 year. But even in that same 7 year, you might find that the knowledge that you learn, you can implement right away and in turn make more money. What you want to do in a 7 year is isolate yourself from social embarks as much as possible and vacations, and more so just focus on being in that sort of a scholar mode where you're just learning, and implementing and experimenting. The 7 wants you to sort of be disconnected from the material world, but it wants you to do that so you achieve mastery in something. The only way you can achieve mastery is when you're not focused on the end result, but more so focused on the process or the system. The 7 and the 4 are cousins in the sense of the 4 in Eastern numerology is like Rahu, head of the snake, and then 7's the tail of the snake, which is Ketu. So it means like instead of having that head, because the Rahu is the head, you're just being the tail of it, meaning you're egoless, you're selfless in that year. You're more so just looking at what's my purpose, how can I learn more about how to attain it. That's pretty much it. And then as you learn, as you just look at like the more information you can drain, you'll find that like you start seeing different glitches to get what you want very naturally. That's what that sort of demigod is going to give you. Next one's the 8. 8's pretty rough for some people. For life path 8s themselves, it's nothing for us, but that's just our daily lives. So when you're in a personal 8 year, it's interesting because the 8 year is very much the most karmic year. So your thoughts, your words, your actions mean the most in an 8 year out of any other year at all, even including, I'd say, almost debatably the master number years. So with that being said, in your 8 year, if you can focus on being constructive, and I don't like the word positive because people are like, oh, I need to be positive. And it's like, no, like you need to accept your situation if it's bad and say, I'm sad, but if I was wealthy, I'd be happy. Or if I had this, I'd be happy. So you want to more so say, I'm going to be as constructive as possible in 8 year, meaning you can focus on money, status, power, all those things, and having influence, all those things is great. But you want to more so focus on what's my purpose and vision, what's my financial goal, and am I thinking, saying, and doing things every single day that they're actually in cohesion with that said goal. And if you're able to do that, you're going to find that you achieve faster karmic returns in an 8 year. The only way that can go bad is if you have karma that you have to get back in your personal 8 year, meaning like you've done things in your 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 year that might be affecting you in that 8 year that you have to actually now pay for, because that's what the 8 is there for. It's a taskmaster. Saturn is all about putting you in line. So the only way you can actually give you blessings is if you've already been working hard. If you haven't been, you're just learning this information now and you're like, oh shoot, I'm in my 8 year. The best thing you can do is just say, okay, well, let me go as hard as I can. Can't change the past, but let me just be as constructive as possible and then use every second of every day towards my purpose. The more you can actually use like every millisecond of every day towards your purpose, meaning you don't waste time at all, you don't be gratuitous, you don't have any excess in when it comes to recreational activities, wasting time. You just put everything into your goal. In an 8 year, you're gonna find that you reap a lot of huge returns, just like in that 4 year. It's the 4 on steroids, it's 2 4s to make an 8, and that 8 year on the side's infinity. So you can get infinite results simply by turning in the infinite possibilities of this world into a singular reality, meaning something that's in your head here. And every single thing, every single vibration that emits from you has to do with that said reality that you're trying to create. That's how you generate wealth, especially in that 8 year. Lastly, we have the 9 year. The 9 year is a year that's rough for people, especially they don't want things to end, but unfortunately they do. In a 9 person year, you find that like people can leave your life sometimes through means of death, sometimes through breakups. That's happened to me. My last 9 year, me and my girl broke up after like 8 years of a relationship. It had to happen. It was for the best. But you have to look at it from a sense of these are the things that are meant to happen to improve your life. If you can look at your 9 personal year as a year of like decimation, then you're able to look at it ritualistically and say, well, this is Mars. Mars is going to be taking things away from me, but I can also give Mars stuff to take away as well. Meaning like if I have useless relationships, throw them away. If I have useless vices or addictions, throw them away. It's a year not of really setting up new goals, but decimating things that have been holding you back. And the more you can discard these things so you can get ready for that 1 year in the restart of your cycle, is you can actually finally get yourself rich even in your 9 year. Because a lot of people are like, oh, my 9 personal year is not a good year to get rich. You can get rich in any personal year if you're working with the demigod of that year, which is for this one, it's Mars. If you can actually work with Mars and say, you know what, Mars is going to be taking away useless things, useless people, let me help it out by doing the same thing and just getting rid of them proactively, you're going to have a lot more good luck and in turn earn a lot more money very naturally. All right, so that does conclude my video, guys. If you have any questions for me whatsoever, just please leave it in the comment section. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. Holla at me for today, guys. Peace.